It's Tuesday night, 10 p.m., and this is the C3 Podcast.
I guess you've heard of my reputation. I've had my share of fooling around. But everybody needs stimulation.
I had fun, man. Just out, you guys joking. We working at the same time. Putting the work in as a team. Like I said, man, I'm just glad to be with the guys.
My favorite night of the week. Good Lord, it's a good day to be a Panthers fan, and we the best. You heard them say it. We are the best, Joe, and we put it on them.
Hey, what's up, Panther fans? It's your boy, Tony Dunn, a.k.a. The Professor, and this is C3 Podcast, brought to you by CarolinaCatChronicles.com, where every Tuesday night, chop it up, the latest Panthers news and opinions from the fan perspective. I usually do it with my homeboys, but they're missing in action. Mel, scared of me. Ooh, I'm a bully, right? Joe is restarting his computer right now. Hopefully everything is working there. Till then, it's just me and you. I see Kevin in the chat room. I see Peekaboo Jones 64 going on. Look, we're gonna still have fun tonight. Joe will probably catch up with us, but look, we talk just fine. Me, you, Panthers, we can get it done. Tonight's episode 17.3 show is Toldozier totaled, but will Gettleman spend the cash? Third episode of the season, we're gonna be talking about free agency. Mike Tolbert was released today. Paul Soliai released. Mixed reactions about that. This guy right here is excited, and I've been trashed for saying it. So we'll get into that. Until then, look, I just want to go ahead and say, comment in the YouTube chat room, please. Get the show popping with me. I'd like to hear your feedback. This is a fan show. This is about the fans. This isn't about anything else. So let's make it about us. Let's celebrate that. Go ahead and hit the thumbs up button. If you're listening on YouTube, you can go ahead and subscribe. Tell somebody about the show. We appreciate that. Give us a follow at @cat_chronicles. Go check out the Facebook page, Carolina Cat Chronicles. And look, I got to give a big shout out to Cameron Curry, who came in like an angel investor this week and really helping us, helping out the podcast. So kudos to you. And if you want to join Cameron Curry, you can go to the show link, the notes right underneath the YouTube show description. There's a link to our Patreon account. You can become a patron of the C3 Podcast. We appreciate that. All right. Without me begging anymore for your money, let's get into this, guys. Today, Mike Tolbert released. Kevin said a lot of people unhappy, including Thomas Davis, with the release of Mike Tolbert. Should have been 2 years, honestly. The fumble in the red zone in the Super Bowl should have been the hatchet for him. This is one of those cuts that I think we're behind on this one. And I've been unpopular. I've been the odd man out because what my position on Mike Tolbert has been that, he's not a fullback. He's a running back. Calling him a fullback is just pointing out that he's fat. And, he doesn't block well. He really, actually, I won't say doesn't block well. He avoids contact. And he's just not as productive out there on the field for the position that he needs to be. And this locker room presence seems to be the reason that he's been so popular. And I don't really even get behind that. I mean, I get that that's why he's so popular, but I don't think that should be enough, because you're a good locker room presence should be enough to keep you around. And he's just hasn't been the Toldozier that we saw that really changed my opinion. When I was really against Mike Tolbert, I didn't think he was that good. I swear that if you go back and you look at his tape, he is not good in short yardage scenarios. And everybody says this is the guy you want to get the ball in the hands. No, if it's short yardage, if it's 4th and 1, if it's 4th and inches, I say keep the ball in Cam's hand. Tolbert is soft. He's like a big bowl of jello. And I know that you guys don't like it, or a lot of people don't like it. He runs hard. It takes time for him to get up speed. Is that it just takes time for him to get up speed. He's like a locomotive. It takes him to get chugging. So you got to run out of a power set. He's got to take the ball from behind Cam Newton. And it's just something you don't do with him as a fullback. So you got that. He's not good in those situations. He avoids contact. Watch. I swear I see this guy whiff on more blocks. I see him standing up while everybody else is on the ground. Right? Now, there was the year in 2014 or 2013. It may have been 2014 where he absolutely trucked that dude in San Francisco and almost killed him. That was like, all right, and we were doing good in that moment. So that was one of those moments where he got the Toldozier nickname. It even made me feel like I've been being too hard on the dang guy. But it doesn't even save a lot of cap room, folks. $1.7 million is nothing when you've got you've got roughly $47 million to spend. And if you just say that we franchise tag K1 short, that still puts us down to around 30 million. This is not a financial move alone. This is somewhat financial, but mostly that he's eaten up space on the roster. Joey, are you telephoning it up tonight?
I'm using my tablet, man, and forgive me. I don't know what's going on with my laptop, but
you're sideways. Hey, Sideways Joe. Sideways Joe. All right, welcome to the C3 podcast, Joey. It's good to have you here. We've been talking about Mike Tolbert's release. People in the chat room, it seems like we're on the same page as me, that this has been a long time coming. But I've been stunned a little bit by how many people have been outwardly against this.
Wow.
And really, I would say that people. I have one guy today, and his name is. I have to go look it up on Twitter, but he's a super active Panther fan. I see his name a lot. It's like Billy Marlborough or something like that. And this is twice he's done this to me, and I'm starting to get annoyed by it. I'm going to be just frank about this. When anybody says you're better than that,
Wow.
like it's like the most passive aggressive.
Oh, I hate that.
Slight. And all I did, what I said was, it said, Mike Tolbert has been released, and I said, finally. And he said, you are better than that to me. And that this was, and I was just like, no, I'm not better than that. If you noticed, I've been saying this for 4 years.
You obviously do not know who I am if you think I'm better than that, because Mike Tolbert has wore out his welcome years ago. He should have been cut years ago. I'm shocked that it's taken this long. His first couple of years, he was fairly productive. With Carolina, that is, his first couple of years. But the last few years, it's been a serious decline, and it's been a steep decline. And,
it was masked. It was masked in our Super Bowl run,
yes.
Right? Because everybody looked good that year.
Yeah.
Right? Here, I'm getting the guy, and I don't mean to be calling him out, but Kevin asked about it. So Kevin's my buddy, so I got to honor his request. His name was, hold on.
Marlboro Man.
Somewhere. Yeah, it was something like that. It's right around here. His name is, I can't find it.
Well, like I was saying, with Tolbert, he was never a fullback. Even when he played fullback, he never really blocked. I think I saw him make one really good block the entire time he was at Carolina. He did come in and make some plays as a backup, as a receiver out of the backfield. But really, he was not a fullback, and we've needed a fullback for some years now. I think Stewart would run so well behind a fullback, a legit fullback. But, he's gone. His time with us is over. I like the guy. I think I saw somebody mention that, there'll be a loss of veteran leadership and, I guess, a loss of an element of fun, because he is kind of a joker. And he does probably have some leadership that he gives to that running back group. But it's just time for somebody else to step up. That's it. We've got some guys. Jonathan Stewart have to step up if he's going to be on this team and be a leader in that running back group. So,
all right. So the guy's Twitter handle. This actually makes me a little bit more irritated. It's at Billy M_91. I don't know why I thought of him as Billy Marlboro right away. Like M, like that's the first thing. In his bio it says contributor for at NFL Breakdowns and Black and Blue Review.
all right.
So, I've been saying this so much. I said this at one point. Mike Tolbert's mama came after me one time. Remember, Mama Tolbert
chunky
said,
monkey. Yeah.
he got mad because, and I thought, all right, that's pretty awesome. If my mom is going to come after somebody, she should. I would want my mom to stick up for him. And he probably did have another good year. But here's the thing, too. Again, someone else cited to me Pro Bowler. And I didn't even respond to him. But come on. He didn't have a Pro Bowl year last year.
No, he was a Pro Bowler because there's no other fullbacks in the NFC. And he's only going to Pro Bowls off of what he did while he was in San Diego. That's why he's still going to the Pro Bowl, not because he's done so much in Carolina.
All right, he's actually been here for 5 years now.
Wow, that's amazing. No, I can't. That's probably 2 years too long.
Yes, definitely. And I think that's generous. Okay, so this ultimately brings us to the next question. Enough about Mike Tolbert. Do the Carolina Panthers look to bring in a fullback now? Devin Johnson, Rockhead, or whatever, that is, hold on. That is who's.
Wasn't he the guy from Marshall?
Yes. And that is, come on. There's a big fan of him on the podcast. And right now I'm just blanking completely.
Wasn't it?
It's Just Joan. Just Joan.
Okay.
All right. So Just Joan loves Rockhead because she's a Marshall grad, right? Devin Johnson, he tweeted today, hashtag keep pounding. So I think that suggests that he is somehow back associated with the Panthers. I didn't look into it any more than that. But how much do you see them integrating a fullback into their scheme? A lot of people are saying that it's a thing of the past.
I think it would be good. I think if we got back to a hard-running team, that would only benefit Cam, and that would benefit, the defense. More time of possession for the offense, less time on the field for the defense. And it'd be great for when we're down in the goal line situations with a short field. Sometimes when you get down and, inside the 20, inside the 15, inside the 10, that field is real tiny. And when you're spreading the ball out or you're running a single back, it's just, plays take a lot longer to develop. When you got that eye backfield, you can do a quick hit to the fullback, quick handoff, or you can do misdirection, off tackle. I mean, there are so many things you can do out of the I formation, keep everything tight. And I think it's good if we have a real fullback that plays fullback, and we've got to make sure he's versatile, can line up on the wing or in the slot for sure. But having a legit blocking fullback, I think, would be good for the team.
I think one of the things that I would like to see, Kara, like you said, get back to is a power running attack. I think that the NFL is actually missing this right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it can be effective given the right personnel, the right attitude. And you don't see – I haven't seen – I think Carolina has just – they've been so focused on that zone read, that run read option, that they want to have all of these options. But sometimes, hey, just run the ball straight up the gut.
Right.
And I know that that's simple, and maybe that's just me crying in retrospect about not being able to run the ball. But here is what I have seen from the Carolina Panthers offense. And this is something that we talked about on The Professor and the Preacher in the past, is that David Locklear has pointed out that he's been upset with the Carolina Panthers offensive line for not being more aggressive in defense of Cam Newton. When he's taking these shots to the head, when he is getting these late hits where things are the guys are old, they're getting beat. He wanted some sort of symbolic moment where a guy was willing to take like an ejection to go and protect his quarterback. To fight essentially.
Right.
If you couldn't block the people, at least show you give a crap.
Mm-hmm.
So what he was talking about is that to him, that was a lack of toughness, of just grit. There was a meanness lacking. And I see this, where I see it the most, Joey, is in our offensive tackles. We have been getting just crushed by speed guys for the last 2 years or more, right? Is that if you got any speed on the edge, you are going to just eat us up, it seems like. And I feel like even with Michael Orr, who is he's not a great run blocker. He is better in pass protection than he is at run blocking. And you just watch it. He's just not like a mean, nasty dude. Yeah.
Right. He's not a mauler.
What I want to do is bring back some of the identity of the Carolina Panthers, where we're just going to punch you in the face harder than you can punch us. Right. It doesn't have to be pretty. I mean, I want our offensive line to be mean, to win. And I think that's how you beat a speed rusher. I think you say this, is that we're fine. Every now and then you're going to slip past me. But until then, I'm actually going to literally punch you in the face.
Right. We're going to run the ball right at you and run you over. We're going to hit you with the tackle. We're going to hit you with the tight end. We're going to hit you with the fullback. We're going
to make you not want to come after us anymore.
Right. We're going to crush your will. And I think we have that. We have that in the two guards. Norwell,
yes, they play me. They play me, yeah.
And I read recently that Sila Tulo has looked really, really good, to the point to where they're going to keep him on the roster. So we know he's a solid player if he's healthy. He's played well for us in the past, and he definitely has attitude.
Kevin says this. Yes, as Kevin says this, God, that moment was everything I wanted for years. I hate the Saints. Love seeing Swolebone swinging and taking dudes out. I think they're talking about where they were going back and forth with.
And Cam Newton.
Saints.
Yeah.
And is at some point I think you are okay with that when it is it's symbolic. It speaks to the team. Now, where I think this also says is, look, Dave Gettleman has kind of made that his position in drafting and all of this is that we want to be the bigger, more physical team.
Mm-hmm.
But this is not where we're seeing it. And Tolbert, I think, is a first step in getting towards that. And I'm actually working on a little piece, and I'm not a scout like Mel, and I haven't watched a ton of stuff, and I've been real busy, but I got a little something working on Fournette, which is easy, low hanging fruit, right? But it's talking about how Fournette could put some fight back in Carolina's offense, where he doesn't need to have a fantastic offensive line. He's just going to he's just going to truck you.
Right. He's just gonna.
It's an attitude.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's a mentality. What is your mentality? And he has that. You know, I'm not going to try to go around you. I'm not going to try to juke you. I'm just going to run you over.
Yeah.
Attitude. And hopefully that will inspire the guys in front of him and be, you know, and cause them to say, hey, look, this running back is willing to, you know, run through walls if he has to. Let's clear some pass for him. Let's flatten some D linemen and get to some linebackers so we can see what he can do in the open field. You know,
Bobby Blue on YouTube says this, Joey. I don't like the fact that Ron Rivera doesn't allow his defensive unit to defend Cam Newton. Send a message. You hit Cam illegally, my guys are going to hit your quarterback illegally.
And I understand the thinking there, but I think as an organization, we're trying to show a certain level of class, and we want to be an exemplary organization, one that is beyond reproach. We've already had some problems, you know, with our Kraken and Ray Caruth and Fred Lane. Well, we've had some issues.
And steroid cream.
Right, all kinds of stuff. So I think we're just trying to maintain a sparkly image. And I think that's why you don't see that happening. Well, that's not to say the players couldn't take it upon themselves and get a little retribution.
Yeah, good point. All right, so I think with I saw Ken talking about this, and I don't really want to talk about Fournette, but this is what I went and watched Fournette highlights, dude, and two things stuck out to me. One is I thought of Bo Jackson.
Right.
And I thought, all right, I don't like to make these comparisons because I'm not really good at it. Like every time I say, like we're watching TV or a movie with my wife, and I say, that person resembles this person. She goes, no, they don't.
Right.
So,
Mine do the same thing.
I'm not really that good at it, obviously. But I thought, man, this is what I see. I see a big guy, big giant man. And, you know, Bo looks so big with those old school shoulder pads on.
Mm-hmm.
Those old shoulder pads, he looked like he was running around in a cardboard, like a refrigerator box. But he had so much speed for a guy that was
that big.
Straight line running, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And he had a little bit more juke in him than maybe I've seen in Fournette. But the one thing that I like about Fournette is, so I was thinking about this, the Bo Jackson thing, and I didn't want to say it out loud because I'm not good at it. So I didn't want to be like, oh, that reminds me of Bo Jackson. And then people will be like, no, he doesn't. And then I was looking it up. I was looking at his NFL.com draft profile, and they said resembles Bo Jackson. I was like, oh, I got one.
So you were like, yes, I nailed it.
Some validation for the first time ever. And then the other thing that I thought of when I saw Fournette making this, go watch his highlight reel. And I feel like what I love about him is he's a north-south runner.
Right.
Waste no time. He just got one direction towards the goal line.
He tries to get upfield right away.
Yeah. Just upfield. And then the other thing is I feel like he makes a decision. All right, if I can't get to the end zone, I'm just going to run over a safety. Like he just goes, all right, can I truly get to the end zone? Nope. So I'm going to kill that little man over there before I go. I mean, it said on his draft profile, Joe, he's always the hammer and never the nail.
Yeah, I'd like to see him and Cam Chancellor go shoulder pad to shoulder pad
Boom.
Yeah, see what happened. See who walked away
Like
from that.
split the earth. Okay, so another cut today. More moves, making room, I guess you would say. And I think some of these, well, this one is actually a money cut, and is Paul Soliai done. After 1 year, he was signed to a 2-year deal. I think he was scheduled to make close to $7 million this season. So he had a big cap number for a rotational player that we didn't see make any real noise last year. I do think he's a player very resemblant to Star, like literally.
Right.
They're both
Right. The South Pacific Islanders, I think. Yeah.
But he's more of a gobble you up run stopper guy. So it's easy to miss his contributions. It's easy not to give. For me, I think it's easy to see Star as not really being that all effective. And then because you're looking for the sexy plays, getting to the quarterback, you don't see the other things that are going on that maybe a coach would see. So I think Soliai is that type of player, but he really didn't do much. He didn't seem to play. Star really played a lot last year. He played a lot of snaps for the Carolina Panthers. So I does this show some confidence in Vernon Butler? And somebody said, go ahead and cue up Kyle Love being signed. I think it was Kyle. Isn't that the guy?
Yeah,
that was the other defensive tackle that played.
Yeah. I think, I think, it's probably more of a cat move. But I do believe they trust and have confidence in Butler's abilities, and they expect big things from him. And, he's way cheaper. So, it's a wise move, I think. And that's not to say I can't come back in a cheaper deal at some point. But,
right.
He was definitely someone who needed to be released.
All right. And I think this is good news. I think Vernon Butler, we got some hope there. Maybe, is there any, does this suggest that you're making a cut like this right now? Where is the cap? I get the tag, I guess I'm saying, for K1 short. Still not come yet. Does that mean that they're actually negotiating a deal, maybe?
Perhaps. I would think that they're trying to. I would think that he's got his people talking, wanting to get something worked out. I believe I saw the other day he said he would gladly sign a franchise tender, though.
Okay.
I mean, who would? He's guaranteed a ton of bucks. You know what I'm saying? A ton of dough. So I would definitely, he's probably knowing, hey, look, if this can't get worked out, I'm going to get paid. I'm going to have a big money deal, $15 million or something like that. And, and I still may be able to get a deal worked out at the end of this season.
Yeah, I was wrong. He signed a 2-year, $7 million deal, which cleared up. Today's cuts cleared up about $4 million more. So you go
together?
So that puts the Carolina Panthers at $50 million.
Cap space, cap money.
Yes, that is an insane amount of money.
It's a big amount of money. Yeah. I wanted to talk something.
Kevin said they don't think they can franchise tag yet. I thought they had.
I
thought
don't
it was
think they can until the year starts, like March 9th or something like that. Yeah. I didn't think
I thought they could do it before then, because you can start talking if you're a free agent.
A free agent, yeah.
Like a couple of days before. But all right, so $50 million, Joey.
That's a ton of money, man, for sure. But I think can we touch on this subject? We touched on it a little bit last week, and I'm torn here about this whole Victor Cruz thing.
Okay. Well, because that was another story on my list is Cruz visits with the Carolina Panthers, latest news, and reports that come out that the visit went well.
Right. Now, I've been really torn in this Victor Cruz thing. My hesitancy is because I thought he was small. Okay. But I looked up comparison sizes between him and Cotchery, and they're very close, almost identical. So that argument went away. But then my concern was his injury history. You know, here in the recent couple of years, he's been very injury prone, and I think it's because of the receiver he is. He's that middle of the field kind of guy, you know, that hangs out in the middle of the field.
He had he's 6 foot.
6 foot,
Looks like he's
205 pounds. Well, Cotchery
So
was
he's nothing.
6'1", 205.
Yeah,
So they're
nothing
close.
big. Yeah.
Right. They're close.
He had a devastating injury. I think that's one of the things that he had. This is that what goes down with Victor Cruz was he came out of nowhere. I was talking with Clip Brock on Pirate Radio last week about this. Nobody had ever heard of the guy. He's a walk-on essentially, or undrafted player. Comes out and has like 3 touchdowns in the preseason. They didn't even have a jersey for him because he's out there wearing a single digit. That's what Clip said that suggests, right? Is that they just whatever you can find laying around to give him. And he came out and just gangbusters in his first 2 years, just unstoppable, gets a big deal. And then you started to see what plagued, I feel like, was a big problem at one point for wide receivers, a lot of hamstring injuries. I don't think I've seen that as much in the last 2 years, but we saw Benjamin struggle with it in his first season. That it was like that kind of lingering, a kind of severe hamstring injury, and that stuck around and ruined his third season or something like that. And then he messed up his leg. Yeah, and it took 2 years for him to come back. So, like, while it's not necessarily that he's injury prone. I think that you had that little bit of stretch and then that bad injury. And when he tried to come back, it wasn't working right away.
Right. But here's the concern I have. Before the injury, he was that really quick jitterbug kind of guy that can catch a short pass, make a few moves, and before you know it, he's gone 60 yards. But I don't think he has that same ability now, and part of it, I think, is because of the injury. So my concern is, if he doesn't have that escapability he had before, he's going to be prone to getting hit more. And playing in the middle of the field, you know, is dangerous. That's where the big hitters do most of their work. So I would be concerned about his longevity there. Now, on the opposite side, what he does bring is that veteran leadership that our receiver group was missing last year. We needed a Jericho Cotchery last season. And he wasn't there, and him not being there was a big hindrance to the development of those guys. They really they were stunted. They really didn't make any progress. So I think bringing him in, he would add a lot of value that way. But I'm worried, why don't we hold off a little bit? Let's not make any move right now, and let's see what else falls out of teams making their cuts. Who else is available?
All right, here's where my response to that, Joey, is, and this is what Peekaboo Jones says, which is related to that. If we do sign Cruz, the season's a long way away, and if he can't carry his weight, this is something that you can get rid of in camp or the preseason. I do think that signing him should come at a reduced rate. Like, he can't command even a solid veteran salary when he hasn't put together a full season yet.
Right.
You know what I mean? Is that he really has to honor a discount for that very reason. Right. I think one of the things, though, that this suggests, the Carolina Panthers seemingly almost aggressively courting Cruz. wasting no time, like you're saying. What this tells me maybe is that Dave Gettleman truly believes his presence can help that receiver group, like you're suggesting. I don't think, though, unlike Kotchery, who had been like an 8-year veteran.
Right, exactly.
I don't think that we can put Cruz in that category. Like, he's been in the league for a little while now, but he has been so hobbled by injury. It's not, Kotchery found a way to stick around in the league for a long time.
He did.
And I don't know if that we've seen that from Cruz necessarily. So while I think he could, so I don't know if it's such a slam dunk as in like his influence would be great, right? I don't think it's bad because I have listened to him. I heard him on the Monday Morning Quarterback one time. He's so well spoken. So he does acting. He's in TV shows. He was in that Baller show. He's a great show, fashion. By the way. He's into fashion and all of this. So I don't know. It's an interesting, like you said. I'm surprised that's where we're showing so much interest right off the bat. Is that the wide receiver group? Now talking about that cap space, Joey, is a lot of people talking on YouTube about. Shaqued says, look, this number could be as high as 60 when it's all said and done. If you think about it, I think the 50 million right now may be accounting for the perspective leap in what the salary cap is. But even if it was 40 or 50, say it was 44, that's more than we've had the last 3 years combined to spend. But everybody is pointing out this is defensive end is really something that needs to be addressed. People pointed out a big chunk of that money could be eaten up by Short and Addison. Do you think we bring Addison back?
I feel like you have to, right? After the year he had last year.
Yeah.
As long as he turned it on.
Unless somebody is trying to just outbid you.
Right. If somebody's throwing
he did play so well last year. It was really a good year.
Yeah, it was. We don't need we're not throwing like $12-15 million at him. We're not throwing that kind of money at him. But, we make him a strong offer. If somebody comes with a $12-13 million offer and we don't want to match it, sell an era. I don't want to spend that kind of dough on him. But, yeah, I think we got to come with a strong offer to him.
Even if you pay him, though, right? You pay, when you just say you got 40 million, you can sign a dude. First of all, when you put somebody on a long deal, it actually doesn't hurt your cap as much as the short-term deal does because you get to spread that guaranteed money out. So you signed KK Short to a 4-year deal. That's better than signing him to a 1-year deal if you want to talk about immediate cap impact for that single year.
Sure.
I don't see any of these guys just taking home the bank. You know what I'm saying? I don't see Addison or Short with like a blockbuster contract, right? Could be respectable numbers, very good numbers, but I don't see one of those tweets that just blows up everything, resets
with the year KK had last year being a bit of a down year. I think that hurt him and some of his contract expectation dollar amount.
Right.
And so I think he's got to expect that. So
say you did this, Joey. Say you paid both of them and they ate up $16 million between the two of them, $18 million between the two of them on a yearly basis. Because that's really what you're going to talk about is you're going to be talking about paying them a $4 million a year contract with like a $6 million bonus. So say you got 20 million tied up next year in those guys, that still leaves, another 20 million to play with.
5 of which you got to set aside for rookies.
Right. Set aside 5. But
you're looking at like
I feel
15.
Like go and get a real player, man.
Yeah, we really can. I mean, I think we have to. That money that we have has to go to a tackle or defensive end, a veteran tackle or defensive end, offensive tackle, I think. We really need somebody who can come in and help immediately on the offensive side, and a veteran defensive end that can come in and give us another rusher from the edge.
Are there any concerns? All right, so everybody wants. Where do you see the money best spent at? Do you see? A lot of. I think I saw that Ken had put out a story that if we really wanted to get Fournette, we had to jump to number 2.
Yeah, I saw that. He did.
He isn't going to last at number 8. Is belief. So say you are back there, and his idea is that the Jags and the Jets are going to be hard to get past those two teams with their needs. And then there's the idea of who's Mel's guy, the LSU safety.
Oh, Adams.
Yeah, so if he's there, and Fournette's gone, that could be an addition. I guess my question to you is what could help more? Getting a free agent safety and then looking towards the draft to find an impact player on defensive end, or vice versa, trying to draft that starting safety at 8 and then go out and court some defensive ends in free agency. Because a lot of people are saying Barry is the answer. He is not young anymore. I wonder how old he is, but
I think 29.
With his health?
Yeah, his health is fine. He's 100%.
You don't believe that there should be any concern? I don't even know what type of cancer he had. He's 28. Just turned 28.
Cancer. What is it? Cancer of the blood. Lymphoma.
Okay.
I think that's what he had. Non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. So it's like a cancer of your lymph nodes, I think. I think as far as
28 years old, that's like prime time for a safety right there.
Yeah, so if we sign him to like a 3-year deal, he'd be done at 31. Oh, man. That's pretty sweet.
So everybody says that, or at least Jarrell says that there's no way that the Chiefs let him go. We talked about this briefly on the show last week, and that is the Chiefs, unlike us, don't have very much money to play with. And Dontari Poe's up this year. So you got one franchise tag.
Right.
So you can't franchise tag them both. You got a player who has been outwardly saying, I'm not going to play on the tag again, right? Because I think he played this past year on the franchise tag. Am I wrong on that?
I'm not 100% sure, but I think you're all right.
I do know that he has been adamant about not wanting
to be tagged.
To be tagged. And that it's, I think he's saying this is my opportunity. I better get this deal. But maybe he felt this is that taste of the cancer made him feel somewhat mortal. I mean, obviously, it makes anybody feel mortal, but that all of a sudden made this more
time. It made him realize how time is a real factor in life, especially in football. It made him realize, hey, I can't do this forever. There's going to be a time where I'm not able to do this. And right. So let me get to a team where I have a chance to compete and win some Super Bowls. And don't get me wrong, the Chiefs were good last year, but everybody knew they weren't going to make a deep run in the playoffs. They
actually played a lot better and a lot harder. I thought they were actually more of a threat than I gave them credit for. There is
They were good,
but
no doubt.
I do think there's some more the mortality there, and I know that might not sound friendly when you're talking about somebody who had cancer, but I mean it is a gut. I think that a lot of young guys and football players, thrill-seeking type people, don't feel like they can be touched, and that's also what makes them so awesome is that complete. I'll jump out this airplane right now. Give me that parachute, and that maybe said, hey, nothing is guaranteed tomorrow. Nothing is that this is that not only is it not just injury, it could be anything that could come up in your life and you need to, securing that cash, be opportunity. I just don't think they have enough money to pay. They can't franchise tag them with their salary right now. They're going to have to make some significant moves. And I guess maybe that's what some teams do when they are in cap trouble is that they try to keep a couple of a player with the tag. We tried to do that with Greg Hardy.
So how well that worked out.
Yeah, it did not work out. But so
they screwed us that year, man. The NFL really stuck it to us.
I know we want everybody. I think I saw somebody posted in the YouTube chat. We want everybody, and that's the best thing about free agency is every name that crossed the ticker. You're like, how would he fit in the Panthers? How would he look in black and blue? The thing is we kept saying that for the last 3 years, and we knew nothing could happen. This is the first time ever that we actually go. I wonder if this is the most money historically the Panthers have had to spend.
That's a good question.
Yeah. I mean, when was who's the biggest free agent we've gone after in our time? The one I comes back to mind is I think of Ken Lucas. I think of Stephen Davis was a big free agent.
Kevin Green was a big signing, wasn't he, when he played?
Yeah, and then there was the other guy that was who is actually the uncle to Darrelle Revis, and he played for the Redskins. He fleeced the Redskins for a big contract and the Panthers. Let me see if I can look his name up. Do you remember his name, Joey?
I'm thinking I can see his face. He was a defensive lineman.
Yeah, his name was Sean Gilbert.
Gilbert, that's right. He was a huge man, but he sucked.
He made a big pot. He was in fact, that's where Darrelle Revis learned his strategies for negotiations. Right. Oh, Keyshawn's another one.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I don't even know how much he actually commanded, how much money he commanded, if his name just had a lot of pull with it. But is this a wild one? I have not heard anybody say this. What about Jamal Charles?
I don't want him.
God, Joe, this is the time we want everybody. Why not? You just forgot. I mean, because he's
super talented. He has been super talented. He's been uber productive.
Oh gosh, nobody likes him. This is my guy right here.
You see, it's just too risky, man. Too risky.
Why? He's not going to get a lot of money. He's perfect to add into. What if you bring in? Say you have Fournette and then Charles, and those are your mix and match.
What are you going to do with Stewart then? Are you going to cut Stewart?
Well, I mean, I don't think Stewart complements a power back necessarily.
Dude, I hate these planes flying over my house, especially after seeing what happened in Australia today.
What happened in Australia?
A plane crashed into a mall. It took off, maybe went like a mile or 2 miles, and then engine quit, and it crashed right into a mall. Thankfully, nobody was in the shopping center.
Thankfully, you don't live in a mall.
Yeah, well, still.
You're safe. You're safe, Joe. Kevin said, bring him in. He wouldn't be a feature back. Screw it. And Curtis Izzard says we need to re-sign Turner before he gets to the third Pro Bowl. Only elite offensive linemen left if Khalil retires. I agree 100% with that. You go ahead and negotiate that early. He was a third round pick.
I think that's right. Third round pick,
And
came out early, was a young draftee, and he has just got better and better and better every year.
nobody likes my Jamal Charles idea.
No, dude, I told you. No.
So rejected. All of a sudden, I feel like Fournette doesn't look like Bo Jackson anymore. All right. Well, that one's done. I was trying to think because I think of running. Somebody said Dalvin Cook is a young Jamal Charles, and Dalvin Cook is. I looked at the charges. He's got 4 charges against him in his college career. One was for mistreating dogs, like he had left these 3 pit bulls tethered together, and just had not messed with them. The other one was, and I don't know if this was substantial, if what went further with the court case, but he was accused of punching a lady in the face outside a bar. That would make 2 Carolina Panthers who have punched ladies in the faces in bars right now, because the other one would be that kid we drafted out of West Virginia, the cornerback last year.
Oh yeah.
What's his name? The guy that talks a lot now. He's getting such a mouthy dude on Twitter about being the Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Somebody help us out. What's the second? Not James Bradbury, but Kevin something.
Wasn't it Worthy?
Yes, Worthy.
What?
Worley.
Worley.
He punched somebody. Now he was also defending himself, I guess. Maybe he didn't punch him. Maybe he shoved her or something. And they said they vetted it, but that would be 2 people on the team that have punched girls in the face.
Jerry is going to be real cautious about drafting anybody that has had any legal issues, in particular violence against women. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I also think the dog thing is silently something that is so taboo after the Mike moment.
You're right.
That's almost worse than punching a chick in the face in public perception wise. Like, I don't think it is at all in reality.
Right.
But you'll have some people over there talking about, like, I want to save that dog, but I don't care about that homeless person over there.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
Right? Is that if that plane crashed into your house, they would be more worried about your dog than you, Joey.
Right, exactly. They'd be like, oh, we found a few dead people, but there's this dog over here that needs help.
He's alive! Get me a stretcher!
Get to the vet.
There's a faint pulse. Deshaun Jackson is the man, Bobby Blue says, I could not agree more. That ultimately brings us back to the Ted Ginn Jr. discussion. I've softened on Ted Ginn Jr. while his hands have not softened necessarily. I have softened because I stayed the course on the Mike Tolbert thing. But, Ted Ginn has been a positive contributor on this team. I don't think he's played himself out of a spot. I think he's maxed out his potential and what he can be in Carolina. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with him being on the team. But I can't get past – somebody tried to tell me – well, actually, I was seeing there was a big Facebook discussion about whether we should bring Ted Ginn Jr. back. And I said, we just need to get D-Jax. Who cares? And they said, nah, that's what Ted Ginn Jr. does already. And no, he doesn't. I don't think you can put in the category, even put them in the same conversation. I think we underestimate just how insanely good Deshaun Jackson is.
And the fear that he puts into defenses. You know what I'm saying? Just his reputation. Just his reputation scares the heck out of defenders.
Yeah, I mean, it ruined that Matt Dodge kid's career, who was a former ECU Pirate punter who got drafted by the Giants, and Tom, and he had a case of the yips, essentially. Like, he goes into the pros and he forgot how to punt.
Mm-hmm.
He used to boot 70-yarders in college like it was nothing, and then he gets to the pros and he's just so nervous, I guess, that he was terrible. And they held on to him because they gave like a 3rd-round draft pick for him. And that was that game, the game that they like, basically there was no time left. And they said they had just gone up the Giants on the Eagles. And Tom Coughlin told the dude, do not punt it to Deshaun Jackson. Like, punt it out of bounds. And he punted, stayed in bounds, and he ran it, took it to the house. I think that not only is it just a perceived fear, Joey, I think he is the most dangerous receiver, the scariest receiver when the ball's in the air. If the ball is in the air, anytime he is on our team, on any team that he is on the field, when the ball is in the air, everybody goes, holy crap, where's Deshaun Jackson at?
Uh-huh.
Because if this is to him, it's over. It's a wrap. I think it would be an amazing addition. I would gladly see Ted Ginn Jr. take a different role in the team or not be on the team at all if we got Deshaun Jackson.
I think there's incredible potential with Deshaun Jackson on this team, yes. I don't think he can quite do all the things Teddy can do, though. And what I mean by that,
he is just a deep threat guy.
Right. Well, Teddy can get the reverses. He can do the short routes. You know, and Deshaun can do some short routes, but he's not going to do this. He's not the same type of receiver, and that's a big difference between the two.
Yeah, because Ginn's not a little dude.
No, I mean he's not.
He's got enough. He's got enough meat on him where you don't feel like he's going to just get destroyed.
Right. He's going to crumple being hit by a linebacker. Right.
I think Caleb brings up a good spot, and then we'll call it for the show and get out of here. Is Caleb says we need to spend money if we want to be able to keep up with Atlanta and slow down their offense. Yeah, I mean, right now they're the horse that is in front. You know, they are the current NFC champion.
They're leading the pack.
Yeah, they were where we were 2 years ago. Can they keep that magic together? I think it's going to be hard for their offense to replicate that level of success. They've got some questions about Devontae Freeman. I think he's clamoring for a big contract. And I think we're on to something with that receiver. What's his name? I always want to call him Benjamin. It's not Benjamin.
Gabriel?
He came from – who's the guy from – he went from Cleveland to Atlanta. Gabriel.
Benjamin?
Yeah,
Gabriel.
You said Gabriel.
Yeah, Gabriel. Something Gabriel.
Yeah, I think that he could be an interesting selection.
Agreed.
Or addition for the Carolina Panthers.
Agreed.
Yeah, we definitely got to keep up with Atlanta. And one of the things you saw, Vic Beasley had 15.5 sacks, dude.
Yeah, that's going to be tough for him to do that again this year.
It is, but you know what? That's pretty damn awesome.
Yeah, it is.
We need a 12-sack guy.
Right. Well, we have an 11-sack guy, so that's pretty good. But we do need. Yeah. It would be good to get a couple of 10-sack guys. If we can get 2 guys to get 10 sacks, that'd be great. That's really what we need. We need to get pressure from both ends.
Shaquette is he's restricted free agent, Gabriel. So, well, that means that
they get a chance to match.
Yeah, and they would have to have the money, and when you have a team that has some other interests, like maybe Freeman believes that they can manage with Sanu and maybe Justin Hardy, it might be a guy that that they can't keep as much. Right. Who knows? All right, Joey, I'm ready to do the ice up picks and get on out of here for the week. We got plenty more to talk about with the salary cap, with free agency coming. Mel should be back hopefully next week. And everybody also go and listen to Under the Dome podcast. I know we don't like the Saints, but good buddies of ours do this podcast, Sean and Alan. And next week, a big show for them. They got Joe Horn coming on.
Yeah, Hall of Fame wide receiver Joe Horn, who was
awesome.
a thorn in the side of Carolina Panthers fans for years. Very good show. Those guys do a great job, and that is going to be one show that you certainly shouldn't miss.
All right. Okay, Joey. Right now, let's go ahead and rock and roll with our ice up picks. And do you have one for us? Here we go. I got some ice cubes for you.
Right on. My ice up pick this week is an ultra conservative, believe it or not. Milo, and I think his last name is
gosh, I can't watch him, dude. I can't watch him.
Something like that. He's an ultra conservative gay male, and there are times in your life when you have strong opinions about things, which is fine. Everybody's entitled to them, but there are certain ones that you just need to keep your mouth shut about and not mention at all. In particular, making statements that seem like you're okaying pedophilia is one of those times where you should probably not mention how you feel about something. This genius had a book that was about to be released. It was going to sell millions of books, I'm sure. He was part of the Breitbart News Group or Corporation, and he was invited to CPAC to speak at CPAC as like one of the major speakers. And because of these comments he made, where they could be misconstrued, they were taken as him being okay with pedophilia, which he has since denied. But in the words he spoke, he definitely made it seem like it was okay. He has been released from Breitbart. They fired him. His book deal was canceled, and it was ready to go out like in just a week or so, and he was uninvited from the CPAC. So,
and now he's a Democrat.
And now he's unemployed and making apology tours. So what I say is just really think about what you're going to say, and when you're unsure about something, don't say it. If you're not sure how to say something, don't say it. And Milo, now you have all the time in the world you need to ice up, son.
Oh man, it's really bad when you're a shock, when your kind of shtick is shock, and when you that's your go-to move, and you want to say controversial crap, and then this is the time he said something so ridiculous, everybody was like, "We just can't put up with your act no more, man. Like it's so annoying." It's so over the top and so overbearing. I can't stand it.
And it was everybody. It was across all political spectrum. Everybody has denounced him.
I'm telling you, I think that's what I think. It also says that they were putting up with him just because he was a gay conservative and not because they really liked him. And and then they had to distance right away. All right, so that's a good ice up pick. I had not heard of the dude until recently. And then I saw one thing, and then I heard that the next thing, and I was just like, all right, here's a little one. Play you a little something. This is Kyrie Irving talking on a podcast.
Is the world flat? Is the Earth flat or round? Yeah. I think you need to do research on it. Like ultimately,
but who's to say the research that?
Sorry for the reverb, folks.
Give you the who actually has the answer?
Because it's right in front of our faces. I'm telling you, it's right in front of our faces. They lie to us.
Who?
So wait.
That's what I'm saying.
Man.
That's the question. It's not the man. It's not the man. It's not the man. It's not the man. What are we in 1998? Yeah, the man. Oh wait, I was just talking to somebody about the man the other day. I got mad at him the other day. Yeah, the man. He's holding me down.
Holding me down.
That that. What were we saying?
So wait, guys. So
What were you saying?
So,
who are they?
Yeah.
They. Okay.
Kai, real quick. Okay, real quick. Do you believe the Earth is round or flat?
Look, for what I've known for as many years, and what I've come to believe, what I've been taught, is that the Earth is round.
Yes.
But I mean, if you really think about it from a landscape of the way we travel, the way we move, and the fact that can you really think of us rotating around the sun and all planets aligned, rotating in specific dates, being perpendicular with what's going on with these planets and stuff like this.
How are you going to put planets in quotations?
I'm going to put planets because everything that they send or they want to say that they're sending,
they thought Pluto was a planet
back
until like 4 years ago.
It doesn't come back. There's no concrete information except for the information that they're giving us. They're particularly putting you in the direction of what to believe and what not to believe.
All right. So there's Kyrie Irving talking about how, and he believes in aliens, which is fine. You can believe in aliens. He thinks that the boot prints on the moon are faked, and he thinks that the Earth is flat. Now, I mean, and this is sincere. This was not joking around. This is sincere. And then he goes on. I like this part. He's like, I'm just going to encourage y'all all to do your research. Like, we're going to encourage you, Kyrie, to do your research, brother. Is that your research has led? His research is this. I walked outside today and the Earth didn't feel round to me. I play on a flat basketball court every day and not round. So, folks, don't believe what they're selling you. Now, Kyrie, poor guy. This is what happens when you've been sheltered in your whole life and you've been a golden child. And people give you a bunch of money and you're a child and you think of these retarded things. We don't need a picture from space only. The Greeks proved this in like 800, well, probably around like 1000 BC or a little bit in the Greek Golden Age. The guys figured it out. And you know how they figured it out, Joey? Is that they put a bunch of flags out in long distance markers, and they found that the shadows were different lengths. You know, and if the Earth was flat and the sun went around us, the suggestion was it would be the other way. The shadows would all be the same length because you're the same distance. And no, so they had proved this. I don't know about this, is that last time I checked, I haven't heard about anybody falling off the planet. I just haven't heard that. Like, you just sail out onto the horizon and
before you know it,
like Kyrie, he was in an airplane when he said this.
Wow.
You can see at times the curvature from the Earth while you're flying. And the other thing I want to say is this, is that if I truly believe this, if Kyrie Irving did not believe the Earth, if he actually believed the Earth was round, he would have zero incentive to play defense. The only incentive he has to play defense, the reason he runs back on defense is not to play defense, but truly because he's afraid he might fall off the planet. So he's got to run back before he does that. He can't play defense. That's his thing. I thought the other thing I thought he was going to say, there's no way that the Earth revolves around the sun. I thought the Earth revolved around LeBron.
It does. In the NBA.
Okay, it does for his life. All right. Okay, so to you, Kyrie Irving, I say, ice up, son. And it's not even whether this whole conspiracy thing, like these people don't believe what they're selling you. Nobody's selling you anything. When was the last time you went to a store and they were like, man, you gotta believe me, the Earth is a sphere. Like, not selling it to you. And don't act like you paid attention in school, Kyrie.
No, he didn't.
The USA Ice Up. This is the C3 podcast. Joey, tell them how these guys can get after you. And I say, if they don't want to follow the C3 podcast, if they don't want to contribute to the website in writing, monetarily, or with a share, why don't you go take a long walk off of flat Earth?
You can reach me on Twitter at Joe Milano. Folks, you know, it's a long off season, but we're keeping it real here on C3. We're here every week bringing you some kind of Panthers news, trying to open discussions, and we appreciate everyone that participates in this podcast and interacts with us. We really do appreciate it.
All right, my name's Tony Dunn. I'm the professor. You can catch us every Tuesday night at 10 p.m. Follow us at cat_chronicles. Check out the Facebook page. If you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and hit the thumbs up. Give us a share. We do appreciate it. We appreciate all the guys that tune in and gals that tune in every week and help this conversation, help this podcast go. We truly thank you. We don't show it enough, but that support, we know, we see you, we love you guys, and it means a lot to have people that we get together with us on Tuesday nights. If you're listening on iTunes or Stitcher or wherever you get your podcast later on, we love you too. We'd love to hear from you. You can email us at carolinacatchronicles.com, at gmail.com. Follow us, give us a share, and consider, like I said, donate to Patreon account. We really appreciate that. All right, that's it, Joe. I'm going to put the music in later, so we're just going to go ahead and get the heck out of here.
Good night.